So hi, When Going Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
Throwback Wednesday recorded on a Monday. We cannot be stopped.
It's kind of crazy and inconsistent and maybe unprofessional.
Nah, it's a definition of professional, man.
No, you're goddamn right.
Yeah, we will be back to your regularly scheduled Throwback Thursday on a Monday shortly. But for now, we're having fun throwing this wherever we can.
It's just so fun. I wake up every day and I'm like, oh, is today a Throwback Thursday on a insert day of the week? And it usually is.
Yeah. We've been doing them every day.
It's been great for me personally with this series. I'm happy so far. But when it changes to something else, I'm gonna be so mad.
Glory's barely had to get prepared for these because she has been preparing for this for the past 6 months.
My entire life.
So it's been easy for her. Me, I'm waking up every morning listening to a new album and having to talk about it within the hour. But if you didn't guess by the title, today we're chatting about Don Broco and their 2021 album Amazing Things. This is really fun because we started this series recently, this Throwback Reviews, and we've only talked about one record so far that we even could have discussed on the podcast, which was The Warning's Error, but we didn't. So this is actually the first album that we're revisiting. Because we chatted about it when it came out in 2021. Let me tell you, the review, absolutely riveting. I sent it to Glory last night.
Yeah, and I've already seen it. So I saw it and I went,
yeah.
Check, I already watched that. I'm good. I don't need to revisit that again. No, I'm good.
It took me so long to find the time code because I was sifting through on my phone and I found it, and then I was like, shit, now I gotta go back because I gotta send it to her and I gotta tell her exactly what time it is. And then you're like, I watched it already. I'm like, fuck you, man.
All that fucking work for nothing, man. Just assume. Already done.
Yeah,
no,
we had so much to say. It lasted about exactly a minute. I mean, some of the points that were made in there, such as the uniqueness of the album and how every song is different, is why we both enjoy the band. So, like, those points are absolutely valid, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth then. The album was cool. So
it was good, and songs started soft and then were heavy, and then some sounded like they were going to be heavy and then were soft. Yeah, so that was literally my review.
If you watch that review and you're watching this, you deserve a senior citizen discount, and also appreciate you sticking through all the in between.
And also just sorry, just in general, I'm so sorry.
But jumping into it, this is the album I had the most familiarity with, obviously, because we've spoken about it on the podcast previously. It's what I think both of us kind of found Don Broco through. We started paying attention to them because they were on Sharp Tone within the scene. Like, just made sense to cover them on here. The record is fucking awesome. I do enjoy it a lot. You know, we said during the technology review, that is where they kind of start to become the Don Broco, are the Don Broco that we know today. And I think love. Yes, and love. And I think that this album is an extension of Amazing Things, both in that like unique Don Broco sound that was finally really established on technology, and also the fact that this album has, it's a little bit shorter, but has equally as many heavy hitters and as many weird songs, and they are not all stuffed at the end. It actually flows the way that technology should have flowed with the track list order.
Yeah, track listing wise, I completely agree. I think they actually thought this one through a little bit better. It's still a little front loaded because there are two singles with Gum Shield, the opener, Manchester Super Red's #1 fans, and then there's a little break with a deep cut, and then Endorphins. And then One True Prince, and then Space, and then Uber. So they're getting better. They're getting better.
Yeah,
maybe next record.
But like a song like Uba or Bruce Willis being towards the end of the album is not what we got on technology. Every fucking single was smack dab in the beginning of technology. So like those are the heavy hitters, because it definitely gets weirder towards the second half. And but a song like Bad for Your Health, which is a deep cut, is
Don't get me started on that fucking song. Okay, yeah.
It is a little bit more on the, I guess, normal side when we're talking about Don Broco, like a little bit more of that upbeat in your face energy, surrounded around some weirder cuts. So I think that overall the album just flows a little bit better because I'm not getting that like shock of like coming off of Pretty and Everybody in the middle of Technology, and then it just getting weird pretty much immediately.
Yeah, immediately. It's kind of incredible how they were able to do that. But so for this record, I think it flows very well. I think Gum Shield is possibly the best opener that they could have picked for the entire record. Looking at all the other tracks, I cannot imagine starting Amazing Things and not hearing the little fucking trumpet or whatever the hell it is. That is what made me come back to Don Broco 2 years later. Because I remember going, I want something to listen to for this 3-hour road trip. Something, I'm sick of Tyler. I'm sick of fucking whatever the hell else I was listening to. Oh, Ice Nine Kills, whatever the hell. And I was like, oh, I remember kind of liking this band, and I just saw them at Pierce the Veil. So I was like, okay, fine. Hearing that shit, I think, is what triggered my entire infatuation. Normal love with this music. It grabs your attention immediately. It makes you go, what the fuck is what is going on here? So just starting off track listing, I think that was great. I think how it goes into Manchester Super Red's #1 fan is also a great choice because it keeps that energy, keeps it going, and then it kind of drops off a little bit with Swimwear Season, but it's still kind of like a very anthemic big song, but it's not as high energy as Gum Shield or Manchester Super Red's #1 fan. So it kind of shows, hey, yeah, so we're gonna have fun on this record, but we're gonna get a little fucking weird too. So just keep that in mind. Endorphins is fucking awesome. Power Rangers, never watched it, big fan now. I think it's a really fun song. It has a really nice intro where it's too fucking dramatic. If you've seen the music video, it's like, why? What the fuck is happening here? One True Prince is one of my favorite songs by them. I feel like I've said this every album, but that just shows that like even in their fucking debut up to their most recent record, they've had at least one or two incredible songs that like I feel like any new listener could get into and actually like appreciate. One True Prince was a single. It is also where they got the album title from. We're about to do amazing things. Yap, yap, yap. Dick Rider. Okay.
History lesson.
Right? Okay.
Dick Rider.
Dick Rider. Then we have Anaheim immediately after One True Prince, which kind of keeps the low energy going because One True Prince is, as I said, anthemic. It's cinematic. It's very big, but it isn't Manchester Super Red #1 fan. I'm gonna just say Gum Shield because that's fucking easier. It's not like as high energy as Gum Shield, but it's still kind of there, and it's definitely not a fucking sleeper. But then you go to Anaheim where it is very slow, and it is smack dab in the middle of the fucking album. I still have an issue with this track. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I really fucking like this track. But wow. It to me kills the vibe a little bit because it's so slow. But Matt has a great opening part in it, so I have to go, we win some, we lose some. Immediately after Anaheim, you have Uber, where it's still kind of that slow-ish vibe, kind of closer to the same vibe as One True Prince, where it's slow, but then it has, peaks, ups and downs, but it's still not as exciting or as big as Gum Shield was in the beginning. How are you? It's just towards the middle half.
The middle half is where it slows down. Instead of doing this on Technology, they went like this.
Like that, much. Like very low dips. Yeah. Which is fine. Then after Uber, which is one of their best songs ever, Uba. I can't fucking say Uber. It's awful, and I spell it out too. It's
when I was listening through the song, I just kept thinking of you every time you would come on the call and say Uba.
Uba. It's just what the fuck is wrong with him? Like genuinely, what possessed him to do that shit? It's literally just his accent. He can't help it. It's awesome. Then after Uber, it's How Are You Done With Existing, which is a very slow still powerful song. Deep, sad topic. Which I think they tackled it very well.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job with that song. I love it a lot. Then fucking it fades into Bruce Willis. Come on, man. Come on. It's that fucking song. I feel like everyone and their mother fucking like knows this song or has heard at least like a piece of it because it's so fun. Yippee-ki-yay motherfucker as a chorus is so
goes so hard.
Like, what the fuck? That shit live is crazy.
Yeah.
Love that song a lot. Then it goes to Revenge Body, which is my least favorite track off the album. I'm gonna be so real. I think it drags. I don't really think it fits on the record because there are so many other topics that they've covered. Mental health, suicide, depression, racism, homophobia, fucking the church. Like, they've covered so many, and then it's just like, bro, my girl is so fucking hot, bro. Like, she's hot as fuck. It's like, did they think about it? Like, it to me, it just does not line up. Still a decent song. The only part that I really truly go back to it for is Matt's part where it's like isolated vocals and it's just his voice and he sounds so fucking cool. They've only performed it like twice or something. And I think the first time ever was back in the UK, or that UK tour that they did. Before they said, bye guys, we're going into hibernation. Track 11. Do this fucking every time, I'm so sorry. Track 11, Bad for Your Health. It's where the energy kind of gets cranked up again because Revenge Body was such a fucking snoozer, respectfully. Again, I like the song, but not that much. Super fun, high energy song. Prioritizing people over yourself, other people's well-being over your own, that type of shit. I think they tackled that topic very well as a person who does do that. It makes me go, oh, huh. What a way to put it. No, you're right. That's true. Still gonna do it though. So, I guess mission failed. Great song, high energy, kind of picks it up. And then the closer, Easter Sunday, which is, again, Dick Ryder, one of my favorite songs that they've done. As a person who used to be in the church, has gone through a bunch of shit while in the church, and then left, and no one was fucking there to help me through those things. This song tackles, Matt lost, I think, like 4 of his uncles in COVID. And a lot of the people in the church were just like, this is a test. God's doing this because he loves you. And this is just him showing you that he's going to be here for you and blah, blah, blah. And Rob was going to church, I think virtually, with his girlfriend, and she was telling him about fucking God and shit. And he was like, but my best friend is going through some shit right now and they're doing jack shit. And then he kind of went, wait a minute, I kind of hate Christianity. I kind of hate religion. So that is that song. It is massive. It is very anthemic. I wish they played this song more because it is so big and it deserves to be just heard everywhere. I need that shit in my brain forever. Closest track off that, I think it's incredible. This album is the perfect gateway album, in my opinion. Because it covers a lot of topics in a fun and high energy way. But if you want to kind of look deeper into it, you go, oh shit, they're actually like talking about like real shit in this. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, they're the funny, goofy band if you want to take them at the surface level. But if you want to listen just a little bit deeper, all the topics Glory said are discussed throughout the record. But I would agree with it being like the perfect gateway because, we've kind of established through each review like where we kind of feel that the band was at, like with priorities. You can see the vision. Automatic, the vision is starting to take form, but it's still a product of its time. Technology, the band is pretty much there, and where we see them now, but it's so front loaded that you might like tune out after the second half when it starts to get weird. This is the perfect blend of like opening up with the heavy hitter, smack in the face, high energy, and then allowing it to get weird and slow in the middle. which, you know, I don't have a huge problem with. You know, a song like Anaheim, I know I'd normally be like, ow, fuck this, but
Fuck this song.
like I feel like, you know, it's what they do at this point. Like they will go to the highest of highs and the lowest of lows all in one record. So it's something to expect from the band, and to do it, leave it in a section, but also still keep the ebb and flow, because like, you know, you've got Uber in the middle, which is still on the slower side, but you know, bridges the gap between Anaheim and How Are You Done With Existing, which are the like two slowest songs on the album. So, and I actually, you know, we'll get into my favorites, but I did enjoy How Are You Done With Existing. I think it's a really cool song. You know, weird for me to be like, I like the slow song, you know, but my favorites off the record, obvious ones are Gum Shield, Manchester Super Reds, #1 Fan. Like, that is such a cool song. The little electronic robot voice in the background that says the song title, I'm like, yeah, put that in my veins.
Crank that shit.
Big fan of Uber, Bruce Willis, and I also like Bad for Your Health as the one non-single that I hadn't already heard multiple times going into this. But I'd also just like to make to your point, Easter Sunday is a fantastic closer, quite possibly the best one they've had so far. It calls for that closer spot. I think that their openers and their closers on this album in particular were fantastic and well thought out.
Yeah, they got it down.
Yeah.
They got it down 100%. Big shout out to Manchester Super Reds #1 Fan, especially because it is a song that covers some shit that happened with the band and parasocial relationships. And I think it's so fun how they made it, you're a fan of the band, so we're not going to do that. We're going to do, you're a massive fan of his fucking soccer team. And that's how we're going to... Dick right.
Because
Sorry,
you can take it at the face level of you're this massive soccer fan, or you can take it the way Glory just said, which is you're a massive fan of our band, and now we're going to talk about that.
Exactly, because you guys are fucking weird, is, you know, basically the song. It's just like, you guys kind of suck a little bit, which is fair. Yeah. It is so completely fair. I don't even know their fandom. I tried to like talk to one person, and they like aired the fuck out of me. Like, they just ghosted me, and I went, okay, well, that was my one attempt.
Like, all right, I will have my own Don Broco fan club.
Which is just me, man. Maybe you now. Welcome to the club,
and you've got a microphone that you can let people know about how much of a fan you are. Look at that.
Guys, I'm an appreciator. I appreciate Don Broco. All right.
I'm very normal about them.
Thank you. Yeah. My favorite tracks off the record, this is very hard because this was the first record that I officially got into, so I love all of them except, you know, Revenge Body.
As we established, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of hate that song a lot. Gum Shield probably is up there. One True Prince 100% is probably my favorite song off of the record. Easter Sunday and Bruce Willis. I feel like I'd get crucified if I didn't say Bruce Willis. Love all of those songs. They talk about a lot of awesome topics, not so awesome topics. Great album.
Yeah.
Big enjoyer.
Yeah, big fan of this record. Now, as we do at the end of every discography, because this is the last Don Broco album that we have to talk about until until they whenever they put out a new record, then we'll be chatting about that one. But we like to rank them, because now we've heard all the albums, and I said to Gloria, I reminded her that we do this at the end of these at the end of the discography episodes when we finish things up, and she goes, you can't do that to me. And I said, then I'll just put you on the spot, so I'm doing it, Glory.
Here we are.
But I'll start so you have a second to think. My #1 is Technology. I know we've established that the album is very front loaded, but that is honestly my only complaint with the album. My favorite Don Broco songs are on this record. I'm a huge fan of Pretty and Everybody, and T-Shirt Song also goes incredibly hard live. And there are plenty of songs on the second half of the album that I think are incredible as well. So overall, I think it's a solid album. But you know, it's got my favorites on there. The ones that, like, when I do go see the band, I'm hoping that I know that those songs are set list staples, but I still hope that they're on there every time, because they go stupid hard live, they go stupid hard in the studio, and I think that overall it's a solid record. The only drawback being the track list, which I can look past, because the album as a whole and all the songs on there are fucking awesome.
Exactly. Just put it on shuffle.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it's one of those albums, respectfully, Don Broco, that you could just, like, put on shuffle and it sounds just as good. My favorite is my number one, I'll say today. Oh God, it's probably Technology. Because I'm looking at the track list and it has Yen, it has Good Listener, and it has Tightrope. Some of my favorite songs by them. So Technology is my number one.
All right. Okay. I saw you sweating the whole time I was talking about why Technology is my favorite. I'm like, she is hating every second of this and can't wait until it's over.
Because I was stuck between all of them, because I was like, wait, no, fuck, I like this one too. So I'm just fuck it, Technology, number one.
Number two for me is Amazing Things. It's how I was introduced to the band. It's got a lot of fucking bangers on it. I love the way it opens. You know, it flows a lot better than Technology, as we established in this review. It's the same but also different, like expanding on that sound that was built with Technology. So that is super unique that they did it again without doing it again, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, big fan of this album, but I was debating putting this one at number one, but I'm like, they're the heavy fucking hitters on Technology just nudges it over the top.
That's fair. Automatic is my number two. I think how it opens and how it closes is incredible. You Want to Know, to then A Fucking Journey, I Got Sick, Keep Pushing, Nerve, all that, like, great tracks, and then closing with Further, which is very close to Easter Sunday to me as being like one of their best closers. It's just a little folky. So that's, I think, the only drawback. But I kind of love it. I don't know. So yeah, Automatic is my second favorite, my number two.
All right. My number three might be the wild card. I'm saying Priorities is my number three. You know, definitely an interesting record. But the reason why I'm going to put it there is because when we finished the review, I had the urge to go back to it. I haven't went back to it because then I just had to move on to the next one. I'm like, if I'm going to listen to Don Broco, I might as well listen to the record we're talking about tomorrow, not the one we just talked about like today. So I haven't went back to it, but I've had the chorus of Priorities stuck in my head. You know, this band, as we've established throughout, has a lot of easy to pick up on choruses that you know, you're singing along by the end of the song. Sometimes you're singing a fucking verse and you don't even know the song, but it's just that catchy that you know what's coming. And you know, that album really established the idea for me, and there's a lot of songs on there that I caught myself doing that with. So I think it's cool. It's obviously different from the rest of their discography, a little bit of the product of the times, as we established, but
for sure.
I think it's cool. And you know, the reason why I'm putting it there is because I've had the urge to go back to it, and I haven't, because I was like, I gotta finish the rest of their discography first.
Yeah, dude, you can go back to it today.
Yeah, now I can. We're done with this.
Exactly, yeah. My number three is Amazing Things. Great album. The album that got me into the band, as I have said like 30 times this episode. I think it's great. It's just, I think out of the other two, it is my least favorite. Maybe it's because I played the fuck out of it. So content-wise, it should probably be number one or two. But because I've streamed it and listened to it so many times, I'm kind of sick of it. Love it though. Great tracks, great topics, covered everything very well. Awesome.
Oh yeah. And my number four is Automatic. It's
the fuck is wrong with you?
It's no offense to the record. I think it's an incredibly solid album. Spoke highly of it in our review, but it's just when I'm thinking, like, because like obviously I'm into the band now. I've always liked the band, but now this has gotten me into them. Thinking about what album I'm going to go back to, I haven't had the opportunity to. I established that with the last reason. This is not the one that's at the forefront of my mind. I think it's cool. It's got a lot of cool moments on it. But I'm just putting it at number 4 solely because of what I feel at this point, at the time of recording, is a lack of replayability. But as I get deeper into the band, it might become my favorite. Like this is solely like, you're having a hard time ranking them because you love them all so much. I'm having a hard time ranking them because they are all such solid records that it's like, I'm not trying to insult the album by putting it at number 4. I just can't put it anywhere else.
Exactly. Yeah. That is my issue with this entire thing. If I could, genuinely, all of them would be number 1.
Yeah.
Priorities would probably be number 2 if I had to, but it's like everything else would be, because they have good tracks on everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's all cohesive on every single record. That's what I fucking hate about it. Guys, have a bad record.
Yeah, every album has incredible songs on it. Has the high moments, has the low moments, and Automatic is no exception. It's just at this point I have to take from the hypothetical replayability that I may or may not have with the album, because I got nothing else to go with. The album's great.
Exactly. It's awful. And to be honest, it does make sense that is your least favorite in the rankings overall, because it is their poppiest record. So when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, that completely makes sense, because it's very pop rock, heavy on the pop rock.
Yeah.
Because it was a product of its time. It was that kind of, in my head, that One Direction Made in the AM era, where it's just kind of like, okay, you guys are a little edgy. We get it.
All right, we get it.
Yeah. My number 4 is Priorities. Love this record a lot. Some of the songs on here are a little annoying. So that's literally my only reasoning. I love it a lot. Yeah, Man is incredible. Hold On, I hated. I don't think I talked about that in the review. I'm just gonna say it really quickly now. Fucking hated that song the first time I listened to it. It was partially because of the music video, because Rob moves so weird in it that it creeps me out. Respectfully. I don't think they like the music video either. So I think it's fine to kind of shit on it a little bit. You Got It Girl is annoying. I love Let's Go Back to School, Fancy Dress, all the other ones, but there are kind of pockets where I go,
yeah,
could have done better. Great record though. Love it. I love Hold On Now. So maybe I'll come around to You Got It Girl. It's just so fucking slow. Amazing. And it's just kind of like, ew. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know.
It's fair enough, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's our ranking of the Don Broco discography. I honestly didn't know if Glory would be able to do it. She was not talking a big game before we started this recording, but I'm glad she did. And those are also our thoughts on Don Broco's 2021 Amazing Things. So as we've established, we've talked about all of the other albums. Links to all those are down in the description. Other than that, you can follow us on Twitter. It's Good Noise _Forecast. Instagram is Good Noise Podcast. Facebook is Good Noise Pod. TikTok is Good Noise Podcast. And subscribe to us here on YouTube. It helps us out a ton.
It does.
Complete 180 for the next discography we're diving into, but if you like Motionless in White, stay tuned, because that'll be next. We're diving into that discography. So you had Glory and the band She's Very Normal About, and then it'll be my turn to be very normal about a band. So that's very fun. Got lots of content here on the YouTube besides these throwback reviews, reviews of modern records, as well as a shitload of interviews. So if anything interests you, take a peek and subscribe, because it helps us out a ton. But I have been Shane.
I have been Glory.
And we've been the Good Noise Podcast. See you when we see you. Bye.
Bye.